Hi, welcome to the new session that is about the concerns of human resource management. There might be loads of concerns of human resource management in terms of support, in terms of the tools they require, and they are supposed to give those required tools to the employees as well. So, concerns of human resource management, concerns of employees, if addressed properly, can actually lead to company performance. These are quite a few things that we're going to explore in this particular session. So, let's begin. This is concerns of HRM as I've just spoken. We go to the next slide and we can see the concerns of human resource management is about the uh, the skills that human resource managers might have to understand what is required in the organization. So if you see this HR role in organizational performance, it happens there should be a strategic role of HRM, and a strategic role of HRM is always there. You might have heard about the stories that we always talk about, that the HR department is a strategic partner of an organization. So for that reason, we ensure the best fit and the best practices. So when you talk about the best fit, so one of the best concern is that they need a person that is highly qualified, or the required person that should be in that company. So HRM is always showing that kind of concern to the company. And if the company can afford it, and if they don't have any financial constraints, company can afford it. So they will allow human resource management, a department, to bring that person in, and that concern will be addressed in the human resource department. But the most important thing is the strategic role of HRM that should be the best fit with the best practice. And we talk about when the best fit, we talk about the best practice is that the if there's a competency level of the competitor, if they're having the best employee and you're not having the best employee, so it's likely that the competitor might have age and they might achieve their goals, but your company might not be able to achieve that goal. So you have to find that person who's required. It's sometimes some companies, when they can't afford anything, they always go with something that, okay, because we have to fill the gap, we need a person. No, that's not going to help in the organizations. But the actual thing, the person who's required is supposed to be there in the organization. So this just a beginning. I just mentioned about this one. If you look at the best fit and best practice about the high performing working and HR's focus on talent and best practices, possible when we have understood the level of competency around us. So all of the companies, for example, human resource department is always in focus. They are always in search of finding the talented employee for your company. And that's only possible when you know what's happening, when you know what's a demand, when you know what's a supply, when you know what is the labor market, when you know what are your financial constraints, when you know what are the competency levels around you. So if you have those all things in your mind, you can be in a better position to know what is the best fit and what's the best practice. We all know, if anybody may ask you, what is the best practice in any organization? The best practice of any organization is that you have to keep the employees happy. You have to keep the employees which are required in the organization. You have to find out and evaluate the best performing systems in your company. You have to put employees, utilize them in proper direction that they may help you to achieve organizational goals. The top companies are always having such best practices, but to achieve those best practices, you need best fit of those employees. So people should be employed, should not be underemployed. When I say people should be employed, so their expertise, whatever expertise they do have, they should be utilized in the company, rather than some of the tasks which that person is not specialized enough, but you got a work done, so you actually utilize that person to get work done. I mean, if he's not having that specialization, it's really not a good idea. So the best practice and the best fit should be evaluated and must be addressed properly in the organizations, as I have just mentioned in this slide. Now, here we have to see what are the HR's strategic decisions for company performance. So there might be loads of decisions you might have heard about. But you see, if the first one, HR plays a role of strategic partner in the organization and the paternalistic behavior to employees' career and performance. So one of the strategic role of human resource management is that you have the right people in the company and you know the right skills of those all people. When you know the right skills of those employees, you are utilizing them at the right time in the right department. So one of the strategy that you can have how to utilize those people, you have to have the best behavior towards them. You have to convince them. You have to find how this person can be utilized in the company, how that person is the person capable enough to perform the job which you actually looking from that person. So this is one of the role that you have to play in the organization. It might possible initially some of the people who join in the organization, they are good, but they're not being utilized properly. So if they are good, you know that they need a little bit support, a little bit training, or a little bit encouragement. So you are supposed to come up with that encouragement or that training and provide to that person to hone up the skills of those people, to enhance the efficiency level of those employees. And if that works, all everything is in the right direction. Everything will be moving as per the plans of the company. So that's one of the strategic role that human resource must play, and they're playing in the top companies. They're playing it that way. If you see the second one, HR decisions are of key strategic importance to maintain high performance in the company. So what are those HR decisions? I mean, HR is if you see the top level, middle level, and lower level. So lower level and top level, HR is in between of them. So HR is one of the human capital skills they're having. Their decisions must be aligned with the organization, must be aligned with the lower level, must be aligned with the top level. They are connection. And if they're not having this all knowledge, whole company perspective, they don't have any exposure of that one, that department, HR department, it's not good then. So, but if you know what's required, if you have holistic approach, and if you know from top, from down, you know financial constraints, you know company, you know competition, then you have to take some of the decisions, and those decisions should be accumulated properly, documented properly, and then you can send to the top level for approval. So HR's decisions of key strategic importance of that. You keep looking for what are the good things, what the people can utilize. Imagine some key employee has left suddenly. Suddenly something can possible, God forbid, things happen in life, and some employees, one of the key employee maybe have left. So you know what company would do that? So if you have some people inside the organization to occupy that position for a couple months or maybe a year till you hire another person so you can utilize them. But this was not the thing that you required to do that. You got to be very proactive. This is something the thing which I've just said is kind of reactive. Somebody left, so you put somebody. But human resource knowledge and human resource decisions, their exposure should be that you got to be very proactive. That if somebody leaves, at what time? So you have some people in rotation. Some people are ready. Some people can be utilized in an emergency. And this, what the top companies do that. They always have the profile of those employees. They always see, oh, that employee has a promising future, that employee can actually perform these tasks if something goes wrong. So these are the top secrets which you keep in your department in the consultation of the top level as well. So your decisions are a key of strategic importance to maintain high performance in the company. And if you see the top management support is necessary in HR policies that are, of course, that's one of the thing. If the top management is not supporting you, so it means they're not interested to work for the company. They're not interested to make the company successful. So it is highly recommended that it's a coordination, the collaboration between these two parties, HR and the top level, should be 100% in collaboration, in compliance with the policies of the companies as well. So top management is always, and all of the good companies, so they do have this collaboration coordination between these two. But what I'm saying is that some of the companies, they don't have this collaboration. You identify some of the best things that you require in your company, and then you don't get the due support from the top management. So this thing will not work in a better way. So that's not the good policy, and that is one of the concern we're talking about. That is one of the concern we're talking about. If there is a lapse, if there is a non-coordination between these two parties, and you don't get the due support from top management, so things will not work as per your plans. The second concern, if you see integrate action or selection training rewards development for empowerment and inclusive environment. So this is something that human resource can recommend. This is something that human resource can create a cordial culture, can create a cordial environment in the organization, and they have doing this for many years. So this should also be supported by the organization. And the top management, they always want that we want progress, we want the achievement of targets, and that's only possible when HR and the HR decisions, HR concerns are being supported by the top management. And it's possible that we can have some good things can happen in the organization. So, talking about this whole slide, as I've just mentioned, that the HR strategic decisions for company performance, always the HR concerns achieved, identified, implemented in the organization, and they have a due support from the top management. Now, look at this one. That's just a reminder on some more concepts on the employment relationship and high commitment. This is kind of a distinctive, approach of employee management, which seeks to achieve competitive advantage through the strategic deployment of highly committed people. Now, how to make people committed? How you feel that you can make people committed? The best way is that you see your policy, you see the person who is complying with the policies, and you providing the due rewards what he deserves. The employee is not asking you give me more money, give me more promotions, everything, but he only looks for that you pay, you just recognize him whatever he deserves. So when we have such a culture in the organization, that we appreciate those people who really deserving in the organization, he is being paid as per his experience and qualification, and he is motivated, he has accepted those all things, the person is going to be more committed in the organization. So if you want to make people, this is one of the concern of human resource management, they always want the committed employees, they always look for committed employees. But if you want to earn the commitment of somebody, you have to show your commitment in the promises as per a human resource policy. So your commitments as per human resource policy, and his or her commitments as per policy to perform the task. Wow, it's gonna be an ideal situation in the company then. So that's what this philosopher said long time ago, that how to have this high commitment in the organization. And employee relations, you always consider this one of the important aspect in the organization as well, because the good relationships actually pays a good environment, and it really creates a very fair feeling environment, flexible environment, that you address the concerns of employees, and employees address the concerns of HR as well, and then they support it from the top management, so things will be very good. Employment relationship is one of the thing that can create a cordial atmosphere, that can create good culture in the organization, and this ensures a long-term rapport, a long-term commitment between employees and HR department, and whole all of the employees in the company as well. So this was just a reminder that how the concepts of employment relationships with reference to high commitment that we have just talked about. And this we've been talking about in the first slide, which we talked about. What do you mean by the best practice? Now we're looking, because that was the basic concepts we covered, and now we're looking for what actually we can apply the best practice. There's the bundle of good high performance HR practices. We always know that it's organized performance in most of the firms. There are loads of things, they can perform the best practices. Best practices, any initiative, any change management process, any launch of the new product, any launch of the new project you had, and what experiences you documented, and you see that if there are some of the experience you documented that was good, so you pick that, you choose that, and document it for the next project which you launch. You make it the best practice that worked for your company. And that is the important thing, that you're learning every time in the best practice, learning every time when you launch something new, when you initiate a new initiative, when you initiate a new project. So you have gone through the process of many years or many months. You had some motivated employees, not motivated employees, they had a difference of opinion, they had appreciation of opinion, they liked it, they didn't like it, they said this is good, that's good. So you try to collect everything, and you see that when you next launch, and you see that will be different, because that's a best practice you do. Good companies always do that. If I would like to quote the example of the highly effective managers which Google did, they had many points they asked their employees to jot down, and later on they came with the 8 points as well. If you remember, there was coach, there was respecting team, many 8 points. So how they reached over there, that was the best practice. They got it from the employees, and employees had concerns and company had concerns, so they combined those concerns, and those concerns became human resource concerns, the concerns of HRM that we are talking about. And you see what could be the best fit situation and contingency. And firms will have different types of HR strategy depending on their business strategy and how they compete in the market as well. Situational manager, sometimes it happens. You got to be very situational manager, how to deal with employees leaving, employees coming, employees demanding, the financial crisis happening, a sudden situation happen which is not in your control, uncontrollable situation that can happen in the company and outside external forces as well. So you got to be situational manager. So the best fit is how you can adjust yourself in that particular situation. So don't back off. So how can you adjust? Like the example I gave, the key employee is leaving. It's okay, you have no control on that, but then actually you've been working out. So you've been working so closely with employees, you can pick somebody and utilize that person. But if you just don't work on them, so things will not happen. So you're not listening to employees' concerns, and then you're not initiating any concerns, so that thing will not work. So we have to combine these best practices and best fit. In the continuation of that one, if you see, this is one of the philosopher who talked about the high commitment HR work practices. This is the implied concerns because employees' commitment can actually give the good working environment in the organization. This goes on the discussion about that how do you hire selective hiring of staff and self-directed teams. How do you perform that, and how high pay above market average and fair rewards? How this is possible? Extensive training and development which you provide to them. Now, all of these things are possible when your company can afford, when your company can serious about that one. High pay rises, everybody wants high pay rises. I mean, in all of the companies, everybody wants to get more salaries, more raises, more pays, and all that. But the thing is that the concern of the company can pay that. This might be a concern of the company because they can't afford every time keep giving bonuses and keep paying that. So what HR can actually motivate them to work with you without demanding high. Utilizing, you got to be very open. People have rights to apply in different places, and you will not be able to know that they are applying. But you got to be ready if they apply, if that's going to be the position or situation. You got to be ready to address that. And that is one of the concerns which I am emphasizing in the beginning of this session. So you have to look around, know everybody, talk to everybody, understand their skills, utilize their skills from time to time in the company. If you see some a very promising approach and attitude of an employee, you got to provide extensive training to that employee because you believe that employee is going to be good. So you provide that extensive training to that employee, and that employee will be utilizing that efficiency to perform better in our company. And if all these things work out, if you focus on the last point and you see that's also focus on communication, employee involvement, and sharing of information. Some employees, they share that information that they really want to have some extra responsibility and they want to put in some more. They have some ideas. They should be heard. That you listen to them patiently. See what they are talking about in the meetings. See what they're trying to show their presence. They want to do something. Mark them. And later you got to come up with some of the opportunities to them. So this focus, this employee involvement or employee commitment will help you about addressing the concerns. And those people who talk in the meetings, what they're talking about, they always, sometimes they have to share their concerns. So it's not a concern that somebody walks into your office and he say, I have a raise, give me a raise or give me this bonus something. This is not the only concern. The other concerns are that they want some environment, they want some space, they want some flexibility, they want some appreciation, they want some support, they want some encouragement from the organization. So you have to, as an HR person, you have to find out this one. So the employee concerns, you noted down these all things, and then you build on those concerns. These are the concerns of human resource management department. Because if these are not addressed, so you are not actually addressing the concerns of human resource department. So this is not working. So we got to work in that way that we have to provide these concerns. For that reason, we talk about the human resource and we talk about the work practices in the organization. So this philosopher had given loads of great points, but these points I thought I should add into this one so that you can understand better about the concerns of human resource management that we are talking about in this particular session. I know these are some more examples, the concerns, the factors for employees and employers. And this is the best slide because you will understand the actual concerns of human resource management. High performance working, mutual gains. You see the high performance working, work organization systems, and high commitment management. People would like to stay in good and reputable companies because they have very good system. They have very good system of reporting. They have very good system of evaluation. They have very good system of performance appraisal. They have very good system of communication. They have very good system of proper channel communication. So people would like to work in that way. If you really want to have high performance working environment, so you maintain these all with a mutual agreement that employees like it. Is there anything that you list down some of things from company point of view and then employees point of view? Both of them they agree and they like both of the points. Things going to be high performance working environment in that company. And if you see for employees, what is their concern? More autonomy, variety, and skill in the job. We always want that. We want to utilize our skills. We want our expertise to be utilized in the organization, and how you are going to utilize their expertise. From time to time, you give them an opportunity. Maybe in some time that was also popular in quite a few years back about the rotation, employee rotation. The concept of the employee rotation was that you should know every department, every aspect, so you have a knowledge about that. So if you know lots of all of the departments, so you actually come up to have better suggestions for those people. But if you don't know anything about what's happening and you become a boss and you have no idea what's happening, so you won't be able to pitch in some ideas. You won't be able to give your input because you have no background of this one. But if you go into all departments, everything, you can pitch in some good idea. You can come up with some good opinion. That matters. They like it, they don't like it, they register, they don't register, no problem. But you got to come up with this one. So you got experience, you got exposure of the whole organization. So if you know this whole picture, you are in a better position to suggest some of the things that can make your company moving into the right direction. So those things are possible. So more, they want empowerment, and most of the companies they have given empowerment to the employees. And if you remember, there are many philosophers they have said the next century leaders will be those who empower others. So, we always empower them. And nowadays, I guess without empowerment, nothing works out because everybody has a different method how to perform the task. And if you know how to perform the task in a better way, so it's an empowerment. The company doesn't disturb you much because they have given you a task. They said that we're interested that you got to complete the task. We're not interested which way you do, but we're interested that you just achieve the target. That's it. That's the empowerment which they need. That's the kind of autonomy they talk about. Extensive training we talked about. There are many employees that love to stay in the organizations if they see some of the training opportunities in the company. They are offered good salaries outside. They won't go because they want to build their career planning. They always see some of the skills being learned in this organization. So one of the greatest things you can learn from the top people who are working in the good reputable companies. They want to stay. So some employees who really showing their promising attitude to work more, and they are asking you to enhance their efficiency in some of the particular departments. So you have to help them. So we are supposed to help them actually about the extensive training. So you provide them kind of training. But this is debatable. This is debatable. I have talked in a few other sessions as well that sometimes we train a lot of people and then people leave the organization. Yeah, that could be possible, but don't have this kind of fear that people will leave. Let them leave. It's okay. People always leave. But you provide the training to people to the extent that you can utilize them for some extent to achieve your objectives. Once your objectives are done, if people leave, it's okay because you already achieved something which you had planned. Then it's positive. But if you provide training too much and you didn't utilize that person, you didn't achieve the target for which you provided training, then that's a questionable that how did you provide the training. For that reason, human resource people, they always come up with the training needs assessment, training needs analysis, that these kind of things we apply in the organizations. So training is good, but if you give it too much training, you have to think about if it is attached with the strategy of the company or not. And the third thing, if you see internal career paths and job security, stability of the job, they always look for. That's why people always say that, "Oh, you got to work in the government companies." I mean, we kind of hear these things always that the government companies, they have always stability of the jobs. But I have a different opinion. You see, there are lots of good companies. You work in the private companies or government companies. Nowadays, all of the companies are competitive, and you see that if you're working with some of the companies who are offering you good career path, who are offering you good training, and you're learning and being mentored by the top people, top leaders in the organization, so I guess it's worth to stay over there. So this is one of the concern that they one of the HR's concern is that the employees want this. The HR concern is that they are capable enough to provide that, or they're not capable enough to provide that. So what happens with them? So the concerns are actually concerns of each other. So employee concerns, HR concerns are the main concerns for the top hierarchy of the organization. So we have to look for the balance of this one. We address the concerns of employees that will be happy, a contribution to the concerns of HR, and the HR concerns are addressed over there, and they request something from the top, and they collaborate. So everything will be good. And then if you see number fourth one that's talking about higher pay linked to the performing skills, no doubt is that there are lots of companies that did it. So they always try to attach the skills you do have with the performance. I mean, pay for performance. You perform better, you get more pay. You perform better, you get bonus. You perform better, you get appreciation. You perform better, you get the promotions. If somebody performing good, of course they are supposed to get that all. So these things really matter in the organization. That's one of the concerns it implies, that if employee concern performing better and they're not getting appreciation, they're not getting the pays, and they are not getting the due support from them. So this is one of the greatest concern of employee, and this concern, if not addressed by the HR, this is one of the greatest concern of the organization, because you're not addressing what actually employee is looking for. So this is another thing that will help people how to support in that way. And then if you see the next one is about the opportunities for the participation and involvement in the organization. Nowadays, we have inclusive environment kind of thing that we always support. We include the employees in decision making, and we are supposed to include them in the decision making, because in the decision making, you make the decisions on what basis? You always make decisions based on the information, based on the knowledge, or based on the certainty. I mean, how much level of information you do have. So that information, if you and HR department, okay, but if you involve people, so they will have more information. So you will enhance, you increase the level of information which you do have. If you have too much information, good information, authentic information, that's going to pay a lot in making proper decision making. So that's why people involve that. In this particular point, what I'm saying, if you involve the employees, so they can add some of the points in your decision making. So the quality of the decision will be enhanced into that one. So those opportunities and participations should be facilitated to the employees. And these are some of the things which we talked about for the employees. And if you go for the employers one, so if you have these all concerns, that's okay, they will address. But the HR has concern of this commitment, that you show the highest level of the commitment to the organization. If you want these all we're giving you, then you have to show this commitment. But if we're giving you these all points, as I mentioned in the column for employees, and you're not getting these things, you're not showing commitment despite of giving these all things to you, then this is one of the biggest HR concern, that how did you spend so much on employees and you did not get the response from them? What had been your planning? How did you plan that way? Why it did not work out fine as per strategic objectives of the company. Motivation, we talked about. Discretionary efforts, we talked about. Improved performance, of course. If we provide you this one, if the performance is not improved, is not this performance not improved despite of giving you this all information, this all training, this all support, this all opportunity, then things are really questionable. So we have to work on those lines, that how the employees can work in proper direction. So these are some of the things which I have just mentioned about high performance work and mutual gains. And then we talk about, to cover this up, we have covered from the employee side and from employer side. So up to this slide, you have learned, oh, so these are the concerns of HR. Oh, these are the concerns of employees. And if we don't address either of them, it's going to be the biggest problems, concerns for the company. So HR is actually in the middle, where they have to find out the concern, list down the concerns, and they address them properly as per the policy of the company, but can go some extra mile to give them encouragement to the employees. And if this works out fine, then things are going to be so good in the organization. Say, oh, I got that. My organization is really good one. And these are things which I've just mentioned because you're learning in this professional diploma. You're learning about these concerns, everything, all of the things which you follow. It's gonna be the best thing for your professional life. You learn that and you apply. You have a knowledge. You know employees. You know their profiles. You know what are the modern trends in the organizations. Look around you. You analyze the market. So you have this exposure. You expanded that. You have everything in your mind, and you are ready to be HR professional. So these things always work out when you have this kind of knowledge in your professional life. So we covered this one. Let's move to the next slide. And that is about human resource management's RB view. That's the resource-based view, actually. That's a general concern about the organization. But these general concepts can give you some of the more general concepts. There are many general concepts for this one. But the general concern, the main concern of the organization is that how you utilize, how you see this resource based view in the organization. And for you to understand to be an HR professional, an HRM is not only valued for its role in implementation, a particular strategic choice which you make it in the cost leadership, whatever we talk about, but it's being a base strategic capability you do have. You have to show the capability to perform that one. And when we talk about that strategic capability in the company through employees mentioning about HR concerns, then you can have the second paragraph. This one, the HR strategy that focus on employee and their capability to perform in modern companies. And also there are many internal characteristics of the firm to be best in, to be best fit in. So that's one of the resource-based view of the company. There's knowledge of the HR department, the concern of HR department that is creating an environment and making employees to perform better and building those employees, helping those employees, and they're showing their capability. They got so much good motivation. They are showing their corporate capability to perform better in the organizations. So that thing will work positively in the company as well. And this is something I have added from a strategic management process. That's a practical of human resource management as well. But this is much relevant to the concerns of human resource management as well. We can see the organization which always look for to achieve strategic aims, strategic objectives. For that reason, what you know, how you take help from HR. HR will contribute something about this one. They will report to the level that the employees are very good, or employees are not good, or they will feel that employees are supposed to give in this training. They want some of the concerns to pay raises, and that they want to utilize those employees, the opinions, and that thing will help in the strategy. The plan, a strategic plan for this one, how organization can intest to match the internal strengths of the weakness. What are the internal strengths of the company? Employees. What are the internal weakness of the employees? When your internal high tech capability, high tech capital is available, and there's nobody to perform to utilize that high tech, so this is one of the weaknesses which can be a danger in the organization. So external opportunities and threats to maintain a competitive advantage over the long term. You see how you investing in the people, making them intellectual capital, enhancing their skills, and you keep them motivated all of the time. That's one of the strategic plan you do have. And we always talk about the plan. We think in advance. When we say strategy, we are thinking how to reach to achieve that plan. And if you see, we talked about got a few concerns, but if you see, this is strategic management, which also helps us in the demands of the environment, and you use the human resource. Now here the concern of human resource management is a major collaboration with other departments as well, not only the HR departments. You go to finance department, you got to have some knowledge about the, you want to learn some of the things of financial constraints. You do have IT concerns, DPT concerns, data processing departments, and marketing concerns. You have legal department, and all of these things will help in understanding, in adding to the strategy of the company. And then of course this leveraging as well, the firm's unique competitive strength that happens. So then it will develop, first people, then they will develop it. That's a uniqueness in the coming years as well, if this is good. So this is the management process only for the particular practical aspect of HRM. So I added this one for you to understand that the human resource management is one of the concern is all of the other departments, all of the strategies, all of the plans that you have to find, and then you have to promote some of the people in the, you provide them remote work environment, you give them flexibility, you talk to them, you motivate them, you utilize them, you provide them the certain tools, new tools that will be positive for the company. All right. Okay, well, so we move to the next slide. These are just some general practices and trends which we always see in the organization leadership for modern HR. Empathy, oh my God, this is one of the top that we can see how we can put ourselves into the situation of those employees, how they feel, how can I know about this one. This helps me to be having open door policy for them, open door meetings to them, encouragement to them. So if you're asking somebody that, you talk something or pitch in some idea, somebody's not interested, somebody could not perform at that time, could not pitch in ideas, it doesn't matter. So you have to see that person again, again, maybe once again. You never know that person gonna come up with some of the points. Maybe not a first meeting, a second meeting, a third meeting. Maybe he has the best points which he wants to contribute in the fourth meeting. But you have to see, you have to put yourself in the situation of employees, how they realize how it's difficult for them, how they maintain their work-life balance, how they maintain their flexi times, how they maintain their professional and personal life, that how they maintain their timings, how they perform better in the organization, what's going on there. If the organization is like a paternalistic center, you're looking for to help them. That empathy is mentioned here. And of course, growth mindset, always thinking about the company. I really love this point. I mean, growth mindset, always thinking about the company, my company, a spokesperson of the company all of the time. always see, contribute. If company asks you to contribute something for the betterment of the company, definitely you work out, you make some of the notes and come back in the meeting and perform better. Tell them, you know what, one of the best advantage of this one, when you are contributing these points, the time will come when boss want to select a team, he will choose you, because you are the one you excited to wanted to contribute something, but you had not been given an opportunity. This is the time it might possible they may give you an opportunity. So always advise all of you who are in this professional diploma, let me tell you that always speak in the meetings, always show graceful interest in the organization with proper professional attitude in the organization, so people notice you, the bosses notice you, the HR notices you, or that person is interested to take something, interested to launch some projects. So you take that person, you take you always be representing, you always be talking, and always be pitching in some ideas in the meetings. That is one of the best things you can learn. So if you want to be really a great HR professional, you're supposed to consider these things. And then if you see the third one, that's about the focus, sense of ownership. I really like this point, sense of ownership. Sense of ownership is that you never say that I work for this company. You always say I am this company. So you kind of own this company. You say I am, it's me, it's my company. So when you have such sense of ownership, then you can have more ability to contribute in the organization. When you have such ownership, you might get some of the opportunities from the bosses. When you have such focus, you might be noticed. You show your presence in the company, and people will choose you, that okay, these are the best things, these are the best people, these are the motivated people, excited people, we want to give them opportunities to grow. And these are the people which always cross the top ladders very quickly, because they want to work, they are really excited, they're not criticizing, they're not having any bad attitude, but they are such a great attitude, working professional attitude, and they are showing their sense of ownership in the organization. Yeah, that makes sense. Then we have the fourth one is about the paternalistic leadership. If you see that, that's about the parental. This is the concern of human resource management, a concern of the organization. Actually, they try to a supportive kind of leadership which you show in the organization. So you have to show the paternalistic, supportive one in the organization, caring one, and concerned one. So when it's a paternalistic leadership, it's like concerns of the company, and the company which is addressing the concerns of employees, and of course there are concerns through HR, but this is something that is working good in some of the organizations in today's age. And if you see the fifth one, that's about coaching leadership, how the coaching leadership happens, how you coach. There are three terms you always remember that I will cover maybe in training and development session of this diploma. But the three terms you always remember is like training, formal training, which you provide to enhance the skills of the people. Then it's coaching, which you give the training, hands-on practical training to the people. And then mentoring. That's when the a junior person is learning from senior person. So senior person has become a mentor for you. So you're learning loads of things about the coaching, about the leadership, about the work. And this is one of the concern of human resource management. They try to attach with junior people, with senior people. They learn skills. So if someday, sometime, if somebody's leaving, so those people who being mentored, they can occupy the position so quickly. So that will be positive for that company. That happens. So this is something special that the concern of HR is being mentioned, and that's not only the concern of HR. I always talk about that's concern of the company as well. These general practices and trends of organizational leadership are important ones because they have some serious points, like how I can make people to be focused, one to show their sense of ownership. Everything starts from the top one. If the top one has sense of ownership, the HR has sense of ownership, then employees will have sense of ownership. If only employees are having that sense of ownership and they don't get any support from HR, this is one of the negative concern will never be performed better. This is just an example for you that how you understand how. Let me put a little corporate story for you. Is that people? I mean, let me give an example of Toyota, the Japanese corporation. Over there, if you ask somebody that where are you working, they will never say that I'm working in Toyota. They will say I am Toyota. They see the ownership. They see the sense of ownership. They say never mention about the company. They say, oh, company. It's my company. I am Toyota. So that sense of ownership is something that you will always put your company number one, represent your company in a positive way, being a spokesperson of that company in a positive way. And you feel that you are doing some positive in the company. You're happy in the company. And I always say, I have learned this thing. I always say that you never complain about anything. You love your company. You're leaving. Nobody can stop you. It's up to you. You can leave. But till the time you are in company, you always have sense of ownership with the company. You always have good attitude towards company. You always respect the company's policy. You don't like it, you have concerns, anything, you can pitch an idea, you can write email, you can talk in the meetings, you show your concerns, but that concerns should be rational enough, should be based on some of the points. You cannot come up with the concern that you don't like it. It's not like that. And you have concerns, you say that. And if the company is kind enough to address that concern, they will let you know. If not, then they will not do that. And look at how many people they have accepted it. For example, you are not there to be a union leader there. You're not there to just criticize on all of the things. You are there to learn. You are there to accept. You are there to deal them effectively. If there are some of the concerns, okay, you show that. Most of the time when you join an organization, you have two options. You join them and change them. If you cannot change, if you cannot change, you have to change yourself. So when you change yourself, life becomes very easy. You start working with them and you'll be happy to work with them. That is the thing that you have to learn as an HR professional. And this thing will pay a lot in your professional career. So all of those concerns which I was talking about in the earlier part of this session will help you to understand the concerns of human resource management, and those concerns are being addressed properly, that you will work on them, and that's going to be the best thing for your company you can have. One last thing about this, the advantages of the general practices in the organization is also creating a very good environment, very good culture. People stay in the company when they have a good culture, good corporate culture, good supporting culture, having diversified culture, and accepting each other. So this is one of the tough, one of the top, and one of the tough task of human resource management, that they have to make all of the people to accept one another. And how this is possible? This is possible through orientation, through training, through maybe corporate dinners, through helping each other, through appreciation as well, through respecting the seniority positions or any juniority positions. Even then, you got respect. So this thing will always be good for the company, for the employees, for the HR department, and for the top level managers as well. So we have to work in those lines. So let's move to the next slide, and that is the conclusion. And every session in the end, I have put over there some code which I just designed it for you to remind you actually. If you want to be a smart HR professional, you have to understand the concerns of HR. All of those concerns which we have talked about in this particular session. I've seen those people who got success in their corporate world. They actually learn the concerns. You know what I'm saying about these learning those concerns for you most of the time is that you're learning as an employee. You're learning about the concerns as an employee. You are an employee. You're learning the concerns. And when you become a boss, when you become an HR manager, you know what you had concerns when you were employee in their organization. Now you are HR manager. Now employees are working under you where you have to deal with them. So you can recall, oh my God, these concerns were addressed. And imagine some of the concerns when you're employee and some addresses, some concerns are addressed, how much good you feel about that. So when you become a boss and you will see, oh my God, how you address those concerns of employees. And when you, an HR manager, an HR division, once you become a boss and you see that what are the difficult concerns you had in your HR department, dealing with people, requesting the top management, issuing the financial budgets, coordination with the marketing people, coordination with the finance department, coordination with the IT department, coordination with the HR department, all of this. When you become a boss, when you become a top boss, and you see, recall that what were the concerns in the HR department when you were in HR department, and you will feel good. And then you got to be very expert. You say, oh, these are the things I learned at that time, and these are the things I'm not going to repeat. Just an example for you. If you learn from your own mistakes, you are a wise HR manager. But if you're learning from others' mistakes, you are genius HR manager. So you are the wisest HR manager you can see. Imagine such concerns how this happens. So all experience which you have learned in this professional diploma, that will help you, that will equip you with the concern knowledge, with the relevant knowledge that you can apply in the organizations. And think about that. Think about that. How do you feel when when organization accepts your concerns? How do you feel that? And that's what all of the employees are looking for, and how employees looking for, how employees think that their concerns are being addressed. Remember, the top companies which are top today, they are top because they understand the concerns of human resource department. They understand the concerns of employees. And those companies understand their own concerns as an organization. So concern employees, concern HR, concerns of top management. Combine them, help each other, motivate that, accept that, mutually agreeable goals in the organization. And you see all of these three factors which I have just mentioned, employees, HR, company, will be moving in the right direction. So this was all about the concerns of human resource management that we have talked about in this particular session. So we reached the last slide of this session. So in this way, number third, which we have just completed, that was about concerns of human resource management, company performance. So based on those concerns, addressing concerns and understanding those concerns, company can perform better. So congratulations, you have completed this third one. I'm now looking forward to see you in the fourth session. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Bye.